thank you guys for having me. I'll tell you just a really quick little bit about me and we'll go on. I think most of you know who I am, but I was kind of born in real estate. I have grandparents and even parents in the business. And then I was not going to get in the business, so instead I went down the whole path of, I started my own mortgage company in my 20s, and I did that for 15 years. We became, in California, it was the Central Coast, we became the #1 mortgage company in the whole Central Coast. And I loved that, it was great. While I was doing that, I ended up building 2 custom homes, being the contractor myself for building my own houses, so I really understand homes, inside and outside, upside down. I really do. And then I got into developing where I'd buy land and then I'd, oversee a 4-plex or single family homes. And then I also had about 18 rentals. So I worked hard. I did all that in my 30s. So then by about 41, exactly, my birthday, I left San Luis Obispo. I got out of the mortgage business. This is all the way back in '07. Now you guys know I'm so old. So anyway, I got out of that. I ended up, it was a great year to get out of the mortgage industry. I didn't know that, but I actually got out in '06. So it was the perfect time to get out. Sorry, you lenders back there. I respect you so much. All my lenders love me because I just treat them with so much respect. So anyway, I definitely did that series, and then I went into title and escrow. And I worked with that lady back there. I worked with Kayana here at Fidelity and All Islands, and so that's what moved me to Hawaii. And that ended up being a wonderful transition for me. I don't like managing people. I always say it is like herding cats. You can't get people to do what you want them to do. I don't care what you offer them or what you do. They're going to do what they do. So, and it's the same thing with all of you. You guys are going to do what you do. So what are you going to do? So what I wanted to talk about is what you're doing and why. And so that's where all of this comes down to. So yes, I got lucky enough. And I wasn't lucky at all. When preparedness meets opportunity, you get really lucky, right? So the second year in real estate, even though I jumped into real estate and I didn't know anybody but realtors in the state of Hawaii, that's all I knew. But I got into real estate and I knew I had to make it. I had a $7,000 a month rent payment. And I just jumped right into full commissions, just like that. So I had no way that I could fail. It would just not work. I had to make it work. And so I got really, really busy. And I say busy, I hate that word. Ashley, I hate that word. I got to stop using it. So anyway, I just started grinding, okay? And I just started going. I was like, I have to have a marketing plan. I have to work it really hard. I have to time block, and I have to do this stuff. And I knew I had to, you guys. If I didn't do, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it. I had burned the boats. I think you guys have heard Brent tell that story. My boats were burnt, and I had to make it. So it was a lot of work. It was time blocking. It was discipline. And the number one thing it was, what do I push? Where do I push it at? That? Okay, was grit. So I wanted to talk today about grit because there's been so many times in my life that whether I switched careers or husbands or jobs, whatever it was that I decided to turn the page on, I had to find grit. Every time I had to dig so deep, and I'm telling you, I lost my son this year, and I am right back there, and I am right back there getting gritty because I have to. So, anyway, I want to talk about what grit is. And you guys, if you came from a tough upbringing where things weren't that easy, maybe you had an alcoholic parent, maybe your parents just fought all the time, then guess what? You have grit and you know what it is, okay? You people have grit because that was the only way that you survived, all right? So the harder your past has been, the better you should be at real estate. And the reason is because you guys had to find grit to get to where you are. Now, if you've been a privileged little peanut, which probably none of you are, there are not that many people out there that are privileged. So, but if you... Andrew, really? So he sits here with his lei watching us, probably getting paid too. But no, really, you have to have grit to get going. So I wanted to talk about courage. You have to believe in yourself 100%. You have to believe in yourself. 100%. Okay? So if you don't have that yet and you don't know how to get that, read some of these books like What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. You can't just get rid of a thought like I can't do something. You can't just tell yourself, oh, don't think that. You're still going to think it. Okay? You have to replace it with I can because I'm going to do this to get there. But you have to consciously change that thought. So that's part of believing in yourself and having courage. You have to have a consciousness, which, Melanie? Yeah, Melanie Vitale. Why? Your wife. Jill. There you are. That cute wife of yours. Jill was talking about like how she could smell the coffee. Did you guys get that? Yeah. Like that's exactly, if you don't have that, that's my number 2, and she explained it perfectly. So you have to know where you're going. You have a conscious effort to go to where you know where you're headed. Perseverance is your willingness to start every day and to get there. Every day you got to get up and you got to get busy and you got to look at your, busy, that's a stupid word. You got to look at your chart and you have to know your time blocking and you have to do that. And then you have to have resilience, which is what I'm the best at because I fall a lot. But you notice if you fall, like I'm standing right here, if I fall, I'm going to fall this way, right? You don't fall. Well, you do fall back once in a while, but it's only on the ice in Tahoe. But you fall forward. So if you fall forward and you get back up, you have moved forward, right? So your resilience comes with getting back up. That might mean I only had 7 meaningful conversations yesterday. Tomorrow I will have 13 because I'm committed to 10. So I'm back up, right? That means resilience, getting back up the next day. And then passion, knowing your why, understanding why you're headed where you are, and most of it's our family, right? I just want time back to be with my family more. So this, I'm actually just, you're going to get these slides, and I don't want to take too long today, but this slide is just some really good words. I'll go through them. I didn't memorize them. But guts, I just want to talk, this is guts, resilience, intensity, and tenacity for grit, okay? It's just courage, determination, toughness of character. I'm not even going to go through, I'm not going to read this. You guys will get this, but the point is you guys really have to dig deep and find focus, and I think the best way for me to help you guys do that is, if you have, okay, here you go. If you have failed to plan, you have planned to fail. Have any of you heard that a million times in your life, okay? But it's so true. Every time I don't make a plan or I don't time block, then my day is wasted. I will waste a whole day sometimes, and it's very rare, and I get very upset if that happens. But if you just start becoming reactive instead of proactive, and then this person wants you to come over here and talk to them about listing for the 3rd time, and you go, that is stupid. So, when they're just like, oh, are you really going to do it or not? Or is this really the kind of client that you even want to work with? So you have to just be smart and precise about who you're talking to, when and why. So if you want to make, okay, that's kind of something I was going to talk about. Like if you want to make, nobody's kind of broke this down. You all been told all day, you got to do something, right? And time block what? Dylan said at the meeting on Tuesday, if you guys don't go to those Tuesday meetings, I don't care what company you're from, tie in to our Tuesday morning Team Freedom, because we get so much great stuff every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. I will not miss that. I look forward to it every week. Every week I tend to get a nugget that helps me grow my business or have a better attitude. But Dylan said something the other day at the meeting when you were talking about those conversations. Wasn't it? Yeah. It's like 50 conversations a month will get you 1 transaction a month, right? 50 meaningful conversations. So if you are trying to do 10 per day, okay, let's just say your goal is 10 per day. So if you are at 9 and you're on your way home from wherever, and you're going home to be done working for the day, and you only are at 9, then you need to make that 10. I know this is my whole life. This is how I've been successful. Is then, okay, what do I have to do? I don't know, I'm going to stop at the beach. I'm going to walk the beach and find somebody with a dog and talk to them. Or I'm going to stop at the bar and have a drink. I've done it. I'm telling you, it does work. Just go sit down and talk to somebody and find a way to have that conversation. And I just find that's just really important. And now I want to go let you know that I got a ton of information from this woman. My daughter had told me about her. She wrote a book on grit. I think it's called Grit, 2016. And so much of the stuff, she's a psychologist from Pennsylvania, but she is phenomenal. And I had so much information I found. If you want to dig deeper on grit, this woman has a book, and it's so good and motivating and what we need in real estate. Because realtors more than almost any other career, you guys, we really, really have to keep ourselves motivated, right? I mean, you have to be your own cheerleader. Don't think anybody else will be. You just have to be your own cheerleader every single day, throughout the day, when you wake up. So this gal has some really great information on that. Okay, you don't have to read that at all. I want to talk to you guys. Hang on. So I feel like I was just sitting in the back for the last 10 minutes, and I feel like you people in the back, I don't even know how you're paying attention to this. So I thought I would just come back. I wanted to talk to everybody, even you people who are back there supporting us. Thank you so much. So I want to talk to everybody in this portion. What I want to do, and you don't even have to turn around because I'm going to tell you close your eyes. So I am going to take you down a quick street in your own life. So I want everybody to just close their eyes. Just take a nice deep breath, because this is not going to be easy. Exhale. And I want you guys to now think of a time that was very difficult in your life. Identify it. I don't know if it's a divorce. I don't know if it's maybe a time you lost your job. Maybe you lost a loved one. Maybe you were told you had cancer. I don't know what, but find it, and please identify just one that was really hard. Remember how tough that was, the feelings and how hard it was. Now what I want you to do, keep your eyes shut, just stay in this moment of remembering a tough time. And then I just want you guys to think about how you got through it. Maybe it was just one day at a time, and how hard that was, and how you thought, maybe, when is this pain going to end? And I believe there was probably a time that you understood you were going to have to be really, really tough. And you were going to have to get gritty to get through this time. And now open your eyes. I just want to bring you guys to this thought of that feeling of having to move on. And you just don't want to. You just want to stay in a hole. But you've got to move on. And did you guys get through that time? Are you stronger? Are you more equipped to help other people because of that? And do you have grit? You all have grit. Everybody does. My point is that if you take that grit that you know is there, find it again to be more successful than you've ever been before, to start again on a new path, whatever it might be, that we can. That every one of us has it in us. It's there. It's just getting it and grabbing a hold of it and making a decision to sell, 20 homes between now and the end of the year. What does that look like? It's okay, there's less market share. There's only a few people willing to work hard enough to take it. Be one of those, right? Doesn't matter. I always say that. I don't care what the market share is, there's plenty enough for me, right? So if we take another turn, my whole life has been a roller coaster that has everything to do with interest rates. My entire life. When I was in high school, my dad was in real estate and the interest rates were in the 20s, okay? It's been my life. And I'm telling you that you guys can make that decision to be exceptional, to be the best, to be as big as you want to be, because you all have it in you, okay? And I don't know if I have any more slides. That's kind of what I just talked about, hey? And then that is too. So you guys can look at my slides. But I was going to talk about showing, I knew I was getting short on time because I have an Uber coming to get me. But I've got this also, you guys, I just wanted to talk about. Somebody else said this, and I was going to flow this right into showing property. Like, you're never going to sell property if you're not showing it. For those people that are early on in real estate, you could be like time blocking all day, but there's no showing real estate. You're not going to sell a house. It's kind of simple, right? So for those who really want to sell homes and they want to get going and get their tread in real estate, that should be a big, big part of your time blocking. I don't care who you have to show. I've heard Brent Gobe. He's like, I'm just asking everybody, here, you want to just go look at houses with me? I got to show houses. If I'm going to sell houses, I got to show houses. So make sure that's part of your time blocking. We've talked about everything but. So make sure you're doing that. I always say this too. I've always said it to myself, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. Grit allows you to handle rejection without losing motivation. Because I can't tell you how many times in my sales career, which has been my entire life, that I get rejection. It's like a really tough rejection. And it kind of makes you go, I don't want to do this. I just want to go home the rest of the day. I'll do it tomorrow. But you know, the whole thing about grit is exactly that. Handle rejection without losing motivation. And that is when you can be really proud of yourself. Like that night, you be proud of yourself. You didn't end the day. You went back out and you probably had something successful happen after that if you got back up. Keep falling forward. And then, okay, this is my last slide. I just wanted to say to get gritty. Okay, get gritty. And I don't know anyone who has a more gritty organization than Dylan Nanaka. So if you want to join a gritty culture, this one right here is so gritty. So anyway, I just want to thank you guys so much. Thanks for letting me come and talk.